Alright, and ladies and gentlemen, we are back already. I told you it wouldn't be a long turnover, as we're waiting for our last few drivers to get in, as we're preparing to get underway for our second of 3 stints here at Road America. Yeah, we are running right now about 20 minutes behind, thanks to Forza's hiccups early on. Now, I hate to say it, but it looks like that might only continue to get worse as we go forward. So, drivers in Stint 2 and Stint 3 may have a small advantage over the initial stint of the race. For one, obviously, if you lagged out in the first stint, this is your best chance to try and come back a bit. But more importantly, you're going to be looking at a scenario where you can go ahead and you can run hard in Stint 2 and Stint 3. And if we stay green, flag to flag, because the second and third stint will start racing before they get to the start-finish line, well before, it's about halfway through the lap, you actually get underway quicker, meaning that you have more time actually racing. This also means that in a position like what we saw for LL, it's not likely that he'd be able to perfectly time it to the car run out of fuel just as he comes to the line. But right now, the entire field's getting ready, getting set to go here. Waiting on a few more drivers to show up before we get underway here. So just stand by for the moment as we prepare to get going. But at the moment, I do want to go ahead and run through the grid once more. At the front, it's going to be ESV Scottson. We already... What in the... Okay, Scottson's running Schumacher's paint, or a modification of Schumacher's paint. Never mind. ESV Scottson and Turbo V12 will be starting at the front. That will be VNX Zero, who's going to be in the Chevrolet, along with OTR Popping. VNX Drift is going to be in the other Ford. Dino Prime swaps out with Tactical Fallout in the Chevrolet, and SCR Aspect also comes back. Apparently he's in the Chevrolet now. That's interesting. Sunshine is going to be starting on the pole, uniquely enough, in the LMP2 category, and he is only going to have to fight Anonym, so only one of the top drivers. SF Michaels is also going to be coming back, as will LMP Grizz and GRM Jagged. Then in the GT category, TNR Bryant is the driver taking over for the Ferrari. TNR Horizon is going to be in the Chevrolet. Scored Buffalo, we are anticipating that he's going to be running all 3 stints solo. He'll be starting third again. Red Scarf Bunny is going to take over the number 69 Ferrari. TMS T-Rex replaces Ludicrous Speed here for the second stint today. Rock Marlow steps in to the Red Bull Ferrari. SRD Shredder is going to maintain his position in the BMW. We are also expecting him to go all 3 stints solo as well. So stand by for the moment as we are waiting to get our last few drivers in and get underway here for the second of 3 stints at Road America. Well, that didn't take long at all. We're waiting to get underway here. Again, hour and 45-minute clock. So apparently that clock actually is supposed to start when the lobby loads up. So realistically, the race is going to be closer to like an hour and 43 minutes. And there we are. We're off and underway. Single file restarts. And look at this Dino Prime right off the bat, making it 3 wide, trying to pick up even stronger than where his teammate had left off. Oh, and he gets run off circuit. Nope, so much for that. And we'll end up behind the P2 category. Horrible start. So at the front, it is Ford, Chevy, Ford, VNX Zero taking the Chevrolet to the outside and powering by. Already he is setting his sights on the leading Ford of Scottson, while Turbo and Popping are having a little spirited fight for third farther back. Ooh, Turbo dropped some tires into the grass. That gives Popping a chance to try and close in as they jump down under braking. Second, third, fourth, all on top of each other like a blanket right now. VNX Drift is 5th overall. Sunshine leads in the DPI, in the LMP2 category. And that's great news for him because he's not been able to lead for a long time in the P2s. He has not been able to take home a victory yet in the P2 category for the IESC multi-class. And again, we want to go ahead and say thank you to Sunshine for setting everything up and orchestrating it so that way drivers in Sunshine's Racing League and the IESC were able to get together to run these endurance races. Is very highly appreciated. Farther back, someone already making a pit stop right at the beginning, and that is SRD Shredder pitting at the initial start of the race. While in the GT category, Rockmar runs behind Red Scarf Bunny, 2 Ferraris nose to tail. Just ahead of them, TMS T-Rex in the Ford GT. That's Jagged in the P2, who's had a horrible start, needs to cut his way up to the GT category faster. Scored Buffalo, just a bit ahead. And he is behind TNR Horizon. Oh, Jagged runs Buffalo a bit wide. But it is Bryant who is currently leading in the Ferrari. Same Ferrari that dominated the first stint, now already opening up a lead early on. I'm having sound issues, so I'm going to back out and jump back in and hope that fixes it. Please stand by. Alright. I guess we're just going to be dealing with an annoying sound glitch this entire race. Cool. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Red Scarf Bunny has fallen all the way back down the grid. I think this is a hiccup or a mistake. He shouldn't actually be located behind Shredder right now. As you see, Rockmar and TMS T-Rex having a bit of a fight. 4GT woefully underpowered for this track in particular. He's going to struggle more here than any other track on the circuit beside Daytona. And we already saw his teammate Ludicrous Speed going out in the first stint. So their overall performance is not looking very strong right now. Goes off circuit. That will let T-Rex hold on to the position for just a little bit longer, though. Bryant already opened up a 2-second gap on Horizon as Horizon continues to keep scored Buffalo behind it. Maybe much of the same for Buffalo, just not fast enough to get by the one-off GT drivers, but he will be able to stay ahead of his championship rivals, so overall it would be considered a positive run for him. Dino Prime trying to cut his way back through the LMP2 field right now. He's already back by Anonymous and now setting his focus on Sunshine. Once he clears Sunshine, it will be FCR Aspect who will be the next driver that he has to overtake, and that will be his first actual on-track overtake they'll need to set up. Aspect had a horrible start in the first stint, has not had a great start this stint either. 7th at the moment. 6th. What in the devil? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So Aspect is actually 6th. I'm sorry. Aspect is 6th. 5th is VNX Drifts. Already kind of out in his own. There is this fight, though, for 2nd. Or 3rd. Popping continues to pressure Turbo. Zero, who is in 2nd, has lost a lot of time to Scottson early on, though. But Zero has avoided having a lap 1 instant, like the other driver that he shares it with did in the Stint 1. So there may be a possibility that Zero might be able to try and close back somehow. I don't know how. Gonna have to hope that traffic works out in his favor. But with only 19 stars in this stint compared to the 23 that we had in the prior stint, I'm going to be honest, it's not looking as likely. Fewer cars means that it's likely going to be a lot easier to overtake traffic. Sunshine and Critical, teammates, they both usually run their own cars in the normal points-paying season, but they're sharing a ride today. Sunshine will have to hope that somehow he can outrun Critical on track in overall distance. The fact that he started a little bit earlier will help him a bit, but typically Sunshine has not been able to quite match his teammate Critical in overall pace. He's going to have to hope that things work out so that way he can take top points in that driver's championship that he's going to be fighting for. Down on Prime right now, reigning the 8th position. No, he's not. Reigning 7th. You can see Aspect ahead. Aspect about 7 seconds ahead for the moment. Game is stupid and doesn't understand where drivers are actually supposed to be located right now, obviously. Buffalo has already gotten by the one TNR guy of Horizon. He is 4 seconds behind Bryant. And ideally, he's going to want to keep that gap from extending. That's the Ford GT, interestingly enough, who was just behind Buffalo on track. That's T-Rex, so somehow the game thinks Horizon is ahead of T-Rex, and we can obviously see that's not the case. So, issues with the ticker right now causing us more than a little bit of trouble right at the moment here in the broadcast booth. I don't know why we're dealing with this bullcrap. The sound glitch has repaired itself at least. Dino continues to see to our anonyms about 4.5 seconds ahead. I'm going to back out again. I'm going to leave the lobby and then come back and hope that it works. Hopefully leaving, resetting the lobby, and then coming back will fix the tickers, and we won't have a return of the sound glitch. If this problem doesn't fix itself in a lap, I'm going to back out again. And see Turbo and VNX going at it for second. There we are. Now it's starting to fix itself. Thank goodness. Neck and neck for second position. Oh, Turbo on the inside grass. Really upset himself. Zero goes back to the top. Scottson, though, 8 seconds out of this fight. So it looks like that 4GT at the front is going to continue to walk off with that advantage that he has. No movement that time. OTR Anonyms has already gotten by Sunshine. And takes the lead in the P2 category. So this is just not looking good for Sunshine whatsoever. In a three-way fight for the LMP2 Drivers' Championship, it looks like he's just way too slow compared to his rivals. And although he's able to run every single race, that may not be enough to earn him this championship. TNR Bryant. Already a lap down. And scored Buffalo, who is in second, 4 seconds out. And you can see the DPI category already rushing to overtake him on track. OTR popping now goes to his inside, as is our 5th place. So most of the DPI clears without issue. Dino continues to close on Aspect. This will be for the 6th position, the last 2 drivers in the DPI category, as both Aspect and Dino had absolutely horrible starts. Dino tried to be aggressive, made it 3 wide, actually made the move partially stick before being run off right here at this part of the track. And then Aspect went off circuit a little bit farther down the lap. Two and a half seconds is the gap right now. And M's continues to open the gap on Sunshine. Sunshine's 4 seconds ahead of Michaels, who is 6 seconds ahead of Grizz. And Jag, who had a horrible start of his own, all the way back there in 12th position. And then it's Bryant, scored Buffalo. And interesting enough, TMS T-Rex is really overperforming in the Ford right now, running in 3rd position behind scored Buffalo. This could be en route to the best showing that we've seen the Ford have outside of Sabring this season. Buffalo obviously has the advantage in a straight line against Rex. But Rex has got a car, very nice low center of gravity, wide wheelbase, and very aerodynamically set up. Rex will have a significant advantage over Buffalo here from about this section of the track on. They're both turbo-powered cars, so that's really not going to harm either of them. Rex is going to be faster and nimbler through these corners. You see Buffalo dropping tires off the track here and there. This corner here, known as the carousel, this is going to be where we anticipate the Ford to close the most on the BMW rival. Only the briefest of lifts going through the kink. Red Scarf Bunny is 4th right now in the Ferrari. Dino now overtaking Aspect on track. Although the tickers haven't properly updated it yet, but he has overtaken Aspect. Is now up into 6th position. But this man here drifts as the better part, 30 seconds ahead already. And it's looking unlikely that either Aspect or Dino will have an impact on the fight for the top 5. Popping and Drift, the 2-car Ford battle, as both of them go deep into the dirt that time. And if that one's close, you should check out this fight. Zero has finally fallen behind behind Turbo. These telemetry hiccups are going to make me lose my mind. Oh, 0! And a horrible run through the final corner. And that pretty much puts it into that fight. So Turbo takes the point at the top. 0 falls to third. Hopping and Dritz will actually have a chance to close in just a bit. But I don't think it will be enough to really do anything to 0. 0 needs to start turning things around and put focus on Turbo. Nim's already more than 2 seconds ahead of Mr. Sunshine. It's been something we've seen time and time again this entire season. Sunshine, great second place or third place driver almost all the time. Never really in a position to properly contend for victories. This does not have the pace. P2 category absolutely spread all the way apart early on in this stint. In the GT category, though, Bryant has opened up the gap 6 seconds. Overscored Buffalo. But T-Rex has fallen off of Buffalo at this point. In the GT category, the biggest fight is this one here. Ferrari on Corvette. Red Scarf Bunny against TNR Horizon. That's LMP Grizz in the P2s already catching them as he's trying to close the gap down on his LMP2 rivals. That could have gone a little bit smoother. Once again, we look at this fight for 4th in DPI as Drift continues to run right behind Popping. We may have already dealt with our first flag out. Popping goes around the outside of Drift's. Drift's going to give him enough room to commit to it. He's giving him just enough room to kind of hand himself by his own petard. And there goes Popping off circuit. An Aspect, another disconnect. Dino Prime And the Chevrolet already making his first stop of the day a little bit earlier than we anticipated. But we do know that the Chevys seem to have a small advantage when it comes to fuel consumption. Now, they're still going to have to run about the same number of stops as the Fords. However, this advantage in fuel consumption means that pit strategies are a little bit more wide open for them. But he will have to try and navigate his way back through P2 traffic again, though. As Scarf Bunny can see TNR Horizon ahead in that Chevrolet, but Horizon has been doing a good job keeping Bunny from doing anything, and Shredder, another horrible start, only matched by Rockmaro, who is dead last in that Ferrari. Trying to close back down on the BMW. Dritz having opened the gap on Popping after Popping had a bad run coming onto the straight. And for now, that's enough. Drop Popping to... What? Okay, that was weird. Telemetry continues to act like a complete beep. TMX T-Rex in the Ford GT making his first stop of the day. So really early on, we're seeing drivers getting onto alternate strats. OTR Popping drifts 0 and Turbo V12 all kind of running close to each other. They can all see each other. But the gaps have opened up pretty significantly. None of them are actually able to do anything to the driver ahead or really have to worry about defending against the driver behind. The gaps are steady, about 1 second between each of them, 1 to 3 seconds between each of them. At the front, 0 is starting to close a bit on Turbo for a second, and if they fight long enough, it could bring drifts into the fray. That's the same Chevrolet GT that went from second, started third, went up to second, fell all the way back out of contention due to controller issues, reconnected, and was able to race his way all the way back up to second. Zero continues to stalk Turbo around the circuit, but it does seem like Zero is not as comfortable with the car as his teammate has been. He's able to get right behind the Ford, shadows him through basically lots of set straightaways here, but then kind of loses it afterwards, and now we see the Ford pitting. Zero still has 77% left in the tank. Scottson, who is leading, 74%. Drifts, who is in third, 68% fuel. Popping in fourth, 67%. Turbo is now at 100. And Dino Prime, who is 6th in DPI, 79% fuel. But of note, Dino already made a stop to get well off strategy. Scored Buffalo now knows what it feels like to watch the driver ahead scoot away, as he is only second at the moment, not able to close on TNR Bryant in the Ferrari, as Ferrari has been very strong in Stint 1 and are pulling up with an even stronger performance here in Stint 2. This is for the last places in GT. Strider in 18th, Rock is 17th, although for whatever reason the game seems to think it's the other way around. And Strider, who has been respectably like mid-pack most of the season, has been doing nothing but struggling. Excuse me. He has been doing nothing but struggling today. Dead last in the last stint. Although he will outrun a few of his on-track rivals. On pace to be dead last in this stint as well, sadly. Roughly 30 minutes through this second stint out of 3 that we're going to have today. Has been Ford domination in the DPI category, and has been Ferrari domination in the GT category. So as we continue to watch this fight for seconds, Zero currently has the advantage over Drifts. It does appear that Chevy is probably better on the straights overall, and Drifts just has better handling. So he can afford to run in Zero's draft for a little bit. As they're coming up on Jagged, who is last in the P2 fight right now. Not very easy or practical to be overtaking P2s at this part of the track, and he's going to go for it anyway and use Jagged as a pick to trap the Ford behind. Outstanding move by Zero, but Drifts didn't struggle getting by Jagged, exiting the kink, and already the gap closes back down to about half a second. But Zero making a Hail Mary dive, going into the kink, having full confidence in the car. Now strapped behind the BMW of Buffalo. They'll get by him without issue, but he was trapped right in the apex, and here comes Drifts. Right behind him, nose to tail. Ford goes to the inside of the Chevy. Drag race down the main straightaway. As they come down in turn 1, Drifts has his nose just barely ahead and will send it on Zero. Out in front, Zero will go ahead, make a crossover move, and take second back. That's some good stuff there. So Drift knows now that Zero is worse and weaker than him navigating traffic. He needs to figure out a way to set up for a move using the traffic that won't end up harming him. More traffic ahead, both in the GT and the LMP2 category. That's Bryant, who leads overall in GT. Oh, here they come. 3 wide for the moment as they run down the hill. But Drift has to pull out of it, and Zero keeps second as now they see the P2 ahead of them. Now, they're probably not going to catch Grizz until they get out of Canada corner. This time, the timing worked out a lot better for Zero. Drifts does have a car, I think, that's a little bit better set up for straight line speed as well. It is generally reported that the Ford has better handling characteristics while the Chevrolet has a better engine. And I think Drifts is going ahead and stripped out Aero. He's willing to sacrifice some of the benefit that the car naturally gives when it comes to handling in order to try and match the Chevrolets down the straights, and it's working well. This is the first actual serious manufacturer versus manufacturer battle we've had in the DP category. We've had fights before, but they've normally been between 2 Chevrolets or one Ford absolutely tearing up and just blitzing by the Chevys. So this is honestly really nice to see where the actual strengths and weaknesses of these cars are and how the drivers properly set up and then adapt to them, both in preparation and in race time. At the moment, this is honestly the only battle on the racetrack. As we ride on board with Drifts. So for the next lap, we're going to spin it quietly on board with the Ford of VNX Drifts and see what a flying lap in battle conditions is like here at Road America. So for a first time, Zero and Drifts split their strategies. Zero still has a third left in the tank, assuming the telemetry we've got is correct. As he overtakes Rock Morrow, continues to stay out a bit longer. We know that the Chevrolet has an advantage in the fuel cell. Not so much that they can make fewer stops in the Ford, but they have a lot more freedom when it comes to their strats. It looks like Zero's choice to deal with that is to go ahead and stretch out this first stint long. Scottson continues to lead, though. He has been opening up the gap on the rest of the field without issue all day. This fight here, Bryant and scored Buffalo has opened up to a new 8-second gap now. Ferraris just seem to absolutely destroy the BMW around this circuit. Red Scarf Bunny in the Ferrari can see TNR Horizon ahead of him, but doesn't seem to be able to muster any serious challenge against that Chevrolet. He'll get a bit of a pull from Michaels down the straights, but it does look like the Chevy is faster significantly enough in a straight line that he's actually going to end up losing time rather than get really bad entrance through the corner. Second place overall, Zero will move by him without issue. TMS T-Rex continues to run the Ford GT in third overall, but has no contact with anyone else on the track. Scottson, when will he make his first stop? Not this lap. What about Zero, who is in second? Nearly a full pit stop in distance behind Scottson at the moment. Credit to V12, who made a stop earlier than the other cars on track around him. He has already moved back up in the fourth, although Popping, who is in third, is a solid 20 seconds out. So at this stage in the event, not really much going on the circuit. All the battles have pretty much deteriorated right away, and it's become all about strategy and pace. And right now, the king of that in DPI is Scottson, but there's a different king of it, obviously, when we come down to the P2 category, and that is this man here, Anonyms, has slowly been opening the gap on Mr. Sunshine as this race has gone on. 9 seconds at the moment. And he continues to stretch it by roughly several tenths a lap. Sunshine himself is about the same distance between himself and SF Michaels, and then Michaels 22 seconds ahead of Grizz. Grizz over a full lap ahead of Jagged right now. Has been an absolutely horrendous run by Jagged in today's race. And that's another driver, SRD Shredder, that has also been having just a horrendous run. Dead last in the first stint, dead last in this stint as well. In fact, right now, that's dead last in all three of the categories. Jagged, Shredder, and Dino that we see on track all together at the same time. Second place, well, was our leader. Scottson has made a stop, so this gives Zero the lead for the moment. So for the first time today, can't even Stint 2, but a Chevrolet in the form of Zero leads. With Scottson 10 seconds behind. So Scottson was about 2/3 of a pit stop ahead of Zero when he made his stop, but still, Zero has yet to make his. So finally, Zero makes his stop. And that's Scottson, who goes by on track and re-inherits the lead now. It was only for a single lap, but Zero did lead. So as we look real quickly in the GT category, this is what the fuel strats look like. Bryant, 77%. With a little bit of wear on the left front. He's already made his first stop. Scored Buffalo, 71%. A little bit more wear. He made his first stop a little bit earlier. Right now they're looking at what their second stop will be. T-Rex, who is third in GT, has not yet made his another stop. So he has gone through a lot more fuel and tire wear at this stage in the event. In the DPI category, Scottson going through a significant amount of fuel already. This will be his second flying lap, and it looks like when he crosses the line, he will have gone through about 16 to 17%. Second place, on the other hand, third place, because Turbo has made his first stop really early, so he's way off strategy of everyone else. Zero seems to be going through about 8% of fuel in a lap by the looks of it. Mr. Sunshine, who's actually running right behind Dino Prime, actually fighting for him with overall position at the moment. Though Sunshine has yet to make his first stop of the day, just due to how much longer the P2s can stay out. Dino Prime, 6th and last overall in the DPI category. His next focus needs to be to overtake OTR Anonyms, who is about 11 seconds out. Sunshine's actually just made a stop, interestingly enough. So that puts Michaels ahead of him, as Sunshine, once again, this is something he's done pretty much all season. He will get on an alternate strategy, hoping that something will happen to make it work out. Running 4th right now, even if the game says it's 3rd, is VNX0. You can see drifts ahead of him. That'll be the next man he has to pass. Gap's about 1.3 seconds. Turbo V12, who is in 2nd on an alternate stop. He made his first stop extremely early, so he'll be pitting relatively soon here. Farther back in P2, Grizz is right behind Sunshine. Sunshine has come back out after making his stop. Also, Anonyms, finally, your overall LMP2 leader, about to go a lap down to Scottson, our overall race leader. Nice, simple, nothing else of it. We're going to go ahead and ride on board silently for a lap with Scored Buffalo, so you can hear what a full lap is like on board one of the GT cars here around Road America. All right, and that is the lap on board with your second place overall scored Buffalo. .12.5 seconds roughly out from TMS Bryant, and the gap continues to open. And we're not used to seeing Buffalo in this position, but he is not concerned. He is fighting his championship rivals who are all behind him right now, so he is set to leave here, continuing to open up his lead in the points. There is a possibility that he will lock up the championship in GT category by the 9th race of the season. Meanwhile, Zero continues to run behind Drifts. Drifts is second, Zero is third, despite what the telemetry tells you. A big swing, but okay. As they overtake the Chevrolet of TNR Horizon. Horizon has a big moment back there. And Zero into the dirt and around and into the wall. And that will drop him down to the 3rd position. For good, completely out of contention for 2nd. And the Chevrolet seems to be struggling with twitchiness, because we also got report that Dino Prime had an issue with the sim steering twitched into a wall earlier as well. So with that in mind, the fight for DPI is pretty much solved. I think everyone's going to probably finish where they are right now. With P2, the question becomes, when does Michaels decide to make his pit stop? Down Prime behind 4 out of the 5 LMP2 drivers at the moment. He will get some of them back, though, once the drivers ahead do start making their stops. We believe that despite what the telemetry says, Red Scarf Bunny is running last place. The game is not properly updating him and is saying he is running 16th instead of 18th. We're hoping that fixes itself a little bit later. So Turbo and Drifts have caught each other, having a little bit of a spat for 4th place once again. Right behind the LMP2 car. We've seen this in Song and Dance before. Does Turbo go hard and try to slot Sunshine between himself and Drifts going into the kink? I don't think he's going to be close enough. Not this time. Easy overtake, but look at that! Drifts had a way better run than Turbo. He's by. Drift goes up in the 4th. Turbo makes contact with him going into the corner. Drifts runs wide. Turbo is going to lose a bunch more time now. And Drifts goes in the 4th. Good stuff. Oh, Turbo! He turned him, and he turned himself! He bombed the corner and turned himself! And Turbo, with a no chance dive bomb, sends it on drifts, turns himself right in front of Horizon and Mr. Sunshine! He's able to keep going, and it looks like we're going to stay green, so no yellow flag. I don't know what Turbo's plan was there, because there was no way in anything that move was going to work. As Anonyms goes off circuit farther back there. I don't know what was the plan there. Meanwhile, in the middle of the LMP2 pack, Grizz 4 seconds out from Sunshine. Oh! That was Horizon who went right off circuit and slapped the outside wall coming out of the kink. He'll be able to keep going, but it has not been a good day for Horizon whatsoever. And we didn't expect Chevrolet to be the dominant car here. We thought it would be BMW. It's actually turned out to be Ferrari, but we did not think the Chevys would be as far off as they've been running today, as Horizon brains his machine into the pits. The other one that's really overperformed compared to what we're used to, this man here, TMS T-Rex, keeping the Ford GT solidly in the 3rd position. Now, he is on a slightly alternate strategy than the drivers around, but he's far enough ahead that I think he's going to walk out here with the podium if nothing else goes weird. As Turbo is in pit lane right now. So Turbo will go a lap down to Scottson. Zero about half a lap behind. So there is a very high likelihood that Scottson could put the entire field a lap down today. Depending on how pit stops play out. Mr. Sunshine has made a stop. So Sir Sunshine, a strong start, but he's just been falling off and has lost all kind of pace throughout this day. And he is now second to last in the LMP2 category. Only ahead of Jagged on track. Brandt has a 45-second lead on scored Buffalo, but we are anticipating that Buffalo has just recently made a stop, and Bryant has yet to make a stop. Well, another stop. Yeah, Bryant's at 36% fuel. Buffalo, who is second, is running with 99. So Buffalo just came out of pit lane. Bryant will probably stay out on circuit for several more laps before coming in. But irregardless, Bryant has absolutely walked this race in the GT category. Yeah, Horizon is actually behind Shredder at this point in the race. Scotsman, we're anticipating he'll make a stop shortly, but is far enough ahead of Zero that when he does make a stop, he's not going to lose the lead. He'll likely make a stop either at the end of this lap or the next lap. I would think that he's going to do it now because he's going to be at about 6% fuel when he comes to the front straight. Yep, here it comes. For Turbo V12, who is 5th, this will be a good chance for him to get back onto the lead lap at least, as he does just that. Leading in the P2 category, though, OTR Anonyms, and he is about to make a stop, and when he does, the lead will likely go, if only briefly, to SF Michaels. Oh, Anonym stays out. So Anonym thinks he can take 5% of fuel and run around the track. All right. All right, I'm interested to see if he can actually do this because he's already down to 4%. Could Anonyms maybe have overplayed his hand and might be hurting himself by going too aggressive on fuel? We saw the Chevrolet DPI that came home second in the first stint pull this off, and he ran out of fuel the moment before the race came to the halt moment for the end of the stint. We're not even close to that. I think we're only like halfway through this stint, aren't we? No, we have 36 minutes left in the stint. So we've gone through this stint a little bit faster than I thought. He's down to 2% right now. Now he has gotten through some of the most aggressive parts of the track when it comes to fuel consumption, the straights, but he still has the run because out of the carousel all the way down to Canada Corner is one flat out section. He's at 1%. Ooh, will Anonyms be able to make it back to pits? I think he will, but oh, he's gonna be coasting. All right, he's on fumes. Well, he was able to keep just enough momentum that he was able to still make it into the pits irregardless. That got tight, though. That got really close. For SF Michaels, this will be his chance. He'll be able to potentially lead a lap now, assuming he's not going to pit right away as well. As GRM Jagged, who is a lap down in category. And there goes Michaels by. Dyna Prime continues to run 8th overall, 6th in his category, last of all the DPI drivers still running. The only one who has been lapped for good by the category leaders. See, the Fords are a lot more trimmed out in a straight line. And it seems like they have a engine package that works out pretty strongly for them as well. 0 pitting out of second position. So Drifts is anticipated to move back up into second overall then, unless he's going to pit as well. So he will hold his position behind 0. So Popping, though, in fourth is too far back to really capitalize. And for the moment, Popping takes third from Drifts. But as we look at his fuel numbers at the moment, 91%. Oh, so Popping could actually stay ahead of Drifts for good, depending on how this plays out fuel-wise to the end. That is SF Michaels, who had just pitted out of the lead, which gives it back to OTR Anonyms. So Sunshine is actually running in... So Sunshine is running 10th and Grizz is 9th, but again, telemetry keeps messing up throughout this entire day today. Fight for third in LMP2. We're going to go ahead and ride on board silently with Sunshine for a lap here around Road America, so you get an idea what a P2 is like racing around here under full pace. Actually going to be a little bit more than a lap. And we want to go ahead and say thank you to Mr. Sunshine for hooking up IESC and the own Sunshine League for event that will allow both drivers to run together. It is highly appreciated. Outstanding onboard shot. Farther up, SF Michaels struggling to not deal with DPI in the form of Dino Prime. Dino currently running laps that should eventually close him up and let him pass Michaels. It's unknown, though, if he'll be able to get by Anonyms before this race is over. I'm going to go ahead and hazard a guess and say no, that's probably not going to happen. So for a second race in the row, the slowest of the DPIs will be behind the top P2s. At the front, Scottson has opened up a 42-second gap on Zero. Now, granted, I do think Zero has yet to make... I think Zero is a little bit ahead of Scottson on stops, but the gap has been large enough all day long that Scottson has been able to pit pretty much without issue. He's led almost every single lap. Zero runs second, Popping in third. VNX Drift runs fourth. Turbo V12 is fifth. Your top five all covered by DPI cars. Sixth place is OTR Anonyms. Dino is now ahead of Michael. Well, it says Dino's ahead of Michaels. He's not actually ahead of him on track. Sixth is Anonyms. Seventh is Michaels. Eighth is Dino. Ninth is Sunshine. 10th is Grizz. 11th is Jag, the last of the LMP2s. Bryant continues to lead. He has opened the gap to 20 seconds over scored Buffalo. Buffalo himself is 21 seconds ahead of TMS T-Rex. Back of the GT field, kind of hard to figure out who's where, simply due to the massive number of hiccups that we've been seeing when it comes to telemetry. Dino making what is believed to be his final stop of the day, so Michaels will likely still be able to walk out here a solid and competent 7th overall. There is actually a small risk that Sunshine could get by Dino by race end. Should have the fuel to go to the end of this race. Yeah. 23 minutes and 40 seconds left according to my timer. Not really a whole lot else to say at this point in the event. All the gaps pretty large, and everyone's pretty much solidified into where they're going to end up finishing this race. Unless we have an accident in these closing 20 minutes. Grizz moves aside to let Dino Prime pass by. So that will promote Dino back up into the 9th position. What? Still needs to run down Sunshine, who is about 8 seconds ahead of him at the moment. But Dino's prime chances of finishing 6th overall pretty much gone at this point. Less than 18 minutes left. The moment, it looks like your winners in GT and DPI will be the same. Bryant making a stop, but he is nearly a full minute ahead of Buffalo, who's already made his final stop as well. In LMP2, it is this man here, OTR Anonyms, who's going to open up a gap in the points, even larger by the looks of it. And 52% left, he'll definitely make it to the end. And your overall race leader, Scottson. And at this point, I think he's so far ahead that even a crash wouldn't take Scottson out of winning this race. He does still have to make one more stop, and that will close zero and popping in on him a bit. Also, will probably put 5th place IE Turbo V12 back on the lead lap, considering that V12 does have fuel to make it to the end as it stands now. 4th place VNX Drift. Will he be able to make it to the end on fuel? It will be close, but he might be able to. But he is the better part of 55 seconds ahead of Turbo, so even if he has to stop again, he'll still be ahead of V12. Popping, who is in 3rd, gets a little bit ahead. Similar situation. Actually, a little bit tighter on fuel and might end up behind Drifts if he needs to make a last-minute stop. He is 23.5 seconds behind Zero. Once again, a Chevrolet looks like it's going to come home second. 32% fuel should be more than enough for this Chevy to make it to the end. It's going to be close, like what we saw at the end of Stint 1 with the same car, but I think it will be enough. As we're at 15.5 minutes left right now. On this fuel, he just got a lap down. In the mean through traffic, Grizz, 3rd and 4th, and closing. %8 left for Popping, so he'll likely pit this lap. He could stay out potentially one more lap if he really feels desperate, but it won't have that much of an impact overall. He'll stay out, though. This could get interesting. Popping might, maybe, pushing it a bit too far. So we'll see Drifts, who is in 4th, and Zero, who is in 2nd, stopping at roughly the same point on the track. And as we ride off the top of Drift's car, you can see Popping just ahead of him. Popping will be stopping sooner than Drifts, but both these drivers will have to stop before time is up. He has burned through too much fuel around here. One and a half seconds now. And when these two pit, they will be at a risk of going a lap down. I'm not saying it will automatically happen, but there is a risk that could. They're about half a lap behind your current race leader. Clean track all around them. 1.1 seconds. That was a massive close under braking. Holy moly. That was incredible. Great job, Drifts. He's now in the lap. He takes it from a 2-second gap down to a 1-second gap. Popping swerves to make it into the pit lane. Unlike Stingray earlier, he does not cross the lines. There's Sunshine. And there's Zero, who's actually going to go ahead and make the stop earlier. So Drifts will end up actually ahead of Zero now. Move up into 2nd for just the moment. But he'll be pitting in the next lap. OTR Anonyms continues to lead in the P2 category and is going to walk to a relatively easy win here. 30 seconds out from his next closest rival, SF Michaels. For Michaels is like 52 seconds ahead of third place Grizz, and Grizz himself is ahead of Sunshine. Dino is honestly closer to Michaels, and even then, he's not even in a position to do anything to him. So Drifts will make a stop, and when he does, the focus, at least on my end, would go to OTR Popping. The man Drifts was fighting on track. Because it will be a fight for third in DPI to the end by the looks of it. What in the devil was that? So that number 3 on the map, that's the one that this man here, Popping, is trying to catch. Already, though, Popping making the run down, pit lane exit. So Drifts might be able to hold station over Popping. Good enough on his end lap, he might just barely be able to hold it over this Ford. Popping overtakes the Ford GT. And there he is on the inside, powers down on both of them. No, Popping's back by him. And now Drifts needs to get his tires back up to temp and start attacking quickly because time in this second stint is almost over. 7 minutes, it's about 7.5 minutes left right now. Drifts runs 1 second out. His tires should be warmed up after they complete this braking zone. Seven tenths. So Drifts is closing back in once more. Just a bit more than 6 minutes left, and Drifts is there as they have overtaken Sunshine on track. Fight for third overall here in Stint 2. Oh, wow, they both go off! Both Popping and Drifts go off, but Drifts recovered faster than Popping. He's got the speed advantage down the straight. Drifts gets pitched on the outside. Popping moves back to the inside line. Under braking, he has the inside preferred lane of choice. Gives Drifts the room. Still side by side as they come uphill to turn 6. Still side by side. They're still side by side. Contact again. And under this braking zone, finally Popping pulls back ahead of Drifts. Drifts tries to cross over, but had to wait too long to get the turbo spooled up. Popping has the advantage as they come up on GT traffic in the form of scored Buffalo. Here we go! And then they contact again. 3-1 on the run down to the kink. Who's going to back out? One of them has to back out. Neither of them back out. One of them touches the grass. They're still side by side. Drifts just barely has the nose ahead of Popping. Popping now has the nose ahead of Drifts. Under braking. Drifts on the inside. Popping outside. Side by side. Drifts takes it. Popping crosses over on corner exit. been side by side for nearly this entire lap. They make contact again on the run down to the last corner. Popping has the inside, jumps the inside curb, drifts, crosses over on exit, drag race again as they come uphill. Drifts has his nose ahead. Popping, closing back in. It seems like his Ford is a little bit faster in a straight line. Contact into braking, Drifts has it, puts his car right in front of Popping. He can't perform the crossover. Drifts up into third. And this is the only real battle left on track as we are in the closing moments of this race. Any moment it can change. By my clock, we're at about 3.5 minutes left. Popping on the outside of Drifts. Neck and neck. Drifts squeezes Popping wide. Now he shoots under to the inside. Contact, Popping sideways. Drifts recovers first. That might have been that might be it. That might be enough to decide that Drifts gets third. And yes, in the end, Turbo did end up being a lap down to the leader. Navigating GT traffic in the form of Shredder's BMW M8. Popping closing back in just a bit. Less than 3 minutes left. So about 2 more laps. Really just 1 more flying lap and then maybe a fraction of a lap after that. The gap is at 4/10 right now. Too far out to have used the draft. But Popping has been slightly faster than Drifts on merit down the straight most of the prior runs. That's Bryant ahead, who is going to win your GT category pretty uncontested. Oh, and he held up Drifts really bad right in the apex. Pair of Fords fighting for the 3rd and 4th position. Oh, wow, he thought of sending it. He really thought of sending it, but he closed in aggressively under braking. Lost a lot of it on exit. Again, he looks at sending it into these corners. Traffic ahead. It looks like Drifts is going to have it. Popping, and it's over. That's it. And yes, Drifts will be ahead of Popping in the end. At the front, though, will be this man here, IESC Sunshine, with the victory in Stint 2. And in LMP2, as anticipated, is OTR Anonyms. And in GT, it is TNR Bryant. So we'll try to reach out to our category winners here in Stage 2, in Stint 2. And mind you, a third stint will be underway shortly after this one. All right. Oh, sweet. All right, and coming to the party right now is OTR Anonyms. Anonyms, go ahead, include your audio. A victory in Stint 2 for the LMP2 category. Walk us through that from your perspective. What do you have to say?
I mean, didn't start the way I wanted to, but, well, was lucky, had traffic, good traffic management, and managed to... Sunshine made a mistake, and that moment I just went away, and I actually learned that Sunshine was going to make an extra stop from the beginning. So yeah, I hope this is enough of a gap to be able to absorb what Critical did and put a lead big enough to maybe hope for the win overall after Stint 3.
All right, who's going to be running in the third stint for you guys?
Me. I run all 3.
All right, sweet. All right, sweet. Yeah, I didn't know if you were running triple stinting or not. So, all right,
yes.
By the way, great job, mate. Great job, mate. Do you think
you
he can repeat this result again?
No, can't be Critical. Unless he has a major problem.
All right, well, at least you're honest. Thanks for being willing to jump in to talk with us, mate. You had a great run out there. You should be proud.
Thank you. See you later.
All right, and that will pretty much wrap up our broadcast here for the second stint, but we will be readying up for our third stint shortly afterwards here. So don't go away. This should be a really short break between the stint broadcasts. One more run to go here at Road America. For those of you who are interested in watching the Apex NASCAR race, that broadcast will probably pick up mid-race, but will be right after victory interviews for the categories at the end of the final stint of this event. Until that time, I've been your host, Insane Leader 13. Don't go away. In about 10 to 15 minutes, we should be underway for our third and final stint here at Road America.